Welcome to Wicked Majesty.
Hello, and welcome to Wicked Majesty channel. In tonight's video, we're diving deeper into this spine-chilling horror story, Demon Child. This is the final part of the story where we'll continue to uncover the eternal fate of this loving family. If you're a fan of horror or the supernatural, then you won't want to miss this. So grab your popcorn, sit back, turn off the lights, and get ready to be scared as we explore the world of Demon Child. Someone is looking at us,
said a scared Gwen.
No, I don't see anyone there. You're probably just seeing things,
her friend replied. Gwen ignored it again, and as they walked out, Gwen started to run out of breath and started to walk slowly. Little by little, the distance from her friend and her friends started to increase, and she was left behind, tired and lost, and calling out for her friends. She tried to find her way out of the forest, and as it got dark, she started to worry with panic.
"How do I get out of this place?"
said Gwen to herself. A thick fog started to cover the forest, and it became difficult for Gwen to see. As she stumbled around the forest, she saw someone who she thought was her friend. She called them out and started to walk towards them. As she got closer, she saw that their back was turned towards her.
"Hey, can you help me, please? I'm lost."
The person turned around, and it was the same demon that her mother saw all those years back. Gwen's face turned pale, and she lost all senses, and in utter shock and fear, Gwen screamed and started to run away, tripping and running for her life. However hard she tried, she felt as if she were only running in circles, and the demon would always be behind her. Finally, scared and tired, Gwen tried to hide behind a tree and sat there as she wept, as if all hope was lost.
"We have waited for you for so long,"
said a demonic voice.
"Your soul has been sold to us to feed on."
Gwen closes her eyes and starts to turn white with fear, unable to utter a sound. She just sits there in horror and hopelessness. She opens her eyes after a while, and to her shock, she sees the trees have faces, and they're all looking at her. She starts to get flashbacks of the deal her mother made, and as those flashbacks ended and she opened her eyes, the demon was standing before her, taller than a normal man, its eyes as if they were of a serpent, a true embodiment of evil. Gwen felt that her soul was being sucked out of her, and something else was taking its place. She was losing control, and all her senses were going away. And suddenly, she fell unconscious. A little while later, outside the forest, as her friends were looking for her, Gwen walked out unscratched and without talking to any of her friends, or even saying a word. She just kept walking towards her home. Her friends were baffled at the sight, and are unable to make sense of what was going on. Finally, one of her friends tries to stop her, and as he gets close, he sees the darkness in her eyes. Her pupils dilated as if she were blind and there was something else controlling her. The friend walks away in fear of what he sees, and Gwen and walked into the living room. Matthew was already there watching the television with the lights off. She went and stood in front of him. Matthew looks at her and cannot believe what he sees. Gwen stood there as if she were a zombie, giving Matthew chills down his spine.
"We have come to take what is precious to you,"
says the demonic voice inside Gwen. As she talks, the room starts to fill with darkness, and the lights and the television flicker. Matthew sits there in horror, watching his precious daughter turn into something evil. Matthew tries to grab a hold of Gwen, but she pushes him away. She looks at Matthew dead in the eyes, and he feels as if he is staring into the eyes of the devil himself. And then, suddenly, Gwen thrusts her arm into Matthew's chest, grabs a hold of his still beating heart, and gives out a sinister. Matthew looks at her in horror and disbelief as he takes his last breath. After seeing the lights flicker, Natalie runs down to see what's happened. When she gets to the living room, her heart drops as she sees Gwen with her arm inside Matthew's chest, holding him up from the floor. She turns Matthew to look at Natalie with dead eyes for one last time, and Gwen crushes his heart inside of him with her bare hands. Natalie screams from the top of her lungs, crying in horror, and drops where she's standing, feeling as though she's lost everything.
"What have you done, Gwen?"
cries out Natalie.
Gwen is no longer here.
Replies the demon as it takes its arm out from Matthew's chest and turns towards Natalie.
It is us, the ones that are born from darkness, the ones you promised to sacrifice, and we have come to take what is precious to you.
Natalie starts to remember the night from 16 years ago, the promise she made in return for her life, and little did she know that the promise would end up taking her daughter away from her. Gwen steps closer to Natalie and grabs hold of her by the neck.
You have fulfilled your promise, and we accept your sacrifice,
says the demon. Insects of all manner start to come out of Gwen's mouth and nose, run down from her hand onto Natalie's face. Grasping for air and struggling, Natalie slowly and painfully gets covered by the bees, ants, and insects as they enter her mouth and consume her flesh. Finally, Gwen snaps Natalie's neck and drops her on the ground as all the insects feed on her dead, lifeless corpse. The next day, Gwen's friends go to her house to check on her. When they get there, they see the front door is open. They walk inside and they find Matthew in a pool of his own blood, and Natalie covered in insects, her body devoured, leaving nothing but bones and sinew. A long search for Gwen takes place, but she's never seen or heard of after that night. The town fears those forests, and is baffled by the tragedy that fell upon this once loving and happy family.
Thank you for watching the final part of Demon Child on the Wicked Majesty channel. We hope you enjoyed this spine-chilling horror story. To those who are new here, if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified when I release new videos. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, please let me know in the comments below. Also, join me next Friday for another one of my stories called What's Behind That Face. Until next time, sleep tight, don't let the shadows bite.